There's one sin that just keeps on coming up in the Bible. Like I know from the Old Testament and the New Testament, you'd ask yourself, what do you think is really like a very, very important sin that we human beings are prone to committing? And what do you think that is? Surprisingly, I think it's idolatry. Okay, you notice it's the first commandment that God even has. It says, "You must have no other god but me." Okay, so what we're going to be doing is just looking at our phones and how we use them and how they're slowly like taking over God's place in our lives. We all have one of these in our hands these days. I mean, it was around when I was sort of a teenager in high school where cell phones came out, and before I knew, they were in everyone's hands, even your cobbler. So everyone has one of these in their pockets right now, and it doesn't matter whether it's an iPhone or an Android, they're just everywhere. The phone basically never goes off. People sometimes, when their phone just switches off, they go crazy. You see them running around with a power bank or with a cable looking, oh, do you have a charger? Do you have a charger? Because it's something that's really important to them. They feel disconnected when their phone is off. And I wonder, do we ever feel that way when like we have a broken connection with God? Are we that desperate looking for where we can reconnect? I know it's gotten so bad that most of us don't even have like a physical Bible in our houses anymore. We just have the phone, the apps. They are really great. They are really amazing for when you're on the go. But there's just something about reading the book itself. Even those of us who have the books at home, how many times do we use them in response to how much we use our phones? You may say, oh, this is just a new wave. This is just technology. This is the progression of things. Ancient Hebrews used to use papyrus and now they're using pages. I get that. But the medium is quite important, because how many times have you been reading your normal Bible, your paper Bible, and a notification pops up? I know a lot of people who are too ashamed to just take their Bible and move anywhere. Even going to church on Sundays, they feel ridiculous taking out a Bible, and you're making it even more difficult for children coming up for Gen Alpha, for Gen Z. I mean, you go to church sometimes and for some kids to keep quiet, you see their parents dropping a tablet or a phone in their hand. What they're communicating is that this child doesn't need to hear from God. This child can listen to more to Bluey, to Peppa Pig. And even in the presence of God, that's what you're communicating to that child, that God is boring, this is interesting. And even in the house of God, this is more interesting. I just think it's wrong, and I think it's unfair to the child, to yourself. What I'm saying is, let us just be mindful of how much time we spend on our phones in comparison to how much time we spend with God. If you think you're using your phone at the barest minimum, okay, try and ramp up how much time you spend with God. Make sure that on that Venn diagram, on that chart, God ranks higher.